on the NewsChannel 5 network. This is Titans Talk.
Hey there, Titans Talk on your television. Steve Lehman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Monday night on the NewsChannel 5. Plus, we are in the month of December. It is December the 5th. There are 4 weeks left in the NFL regular season, and they are going to matter around here. How fun is that to just talk about and say, right? You know, it has been a long time since the Titans have been a factor in December. It has been a long time since they've been in the playoff race or in the AFC South race. They're in both right now, and that is very exciting if you're a Titans fan. Tennessee 6-6, coming off of the bye week, and they actually moved up in the standings yesterday despite the fact they didn't play. The Texans went to Green Bay, frozen tundra literally yesterday, snow coming down, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers got well and beat Houston, dropping the Texans now to 6-6 as well. Indianapolis playing tonight in New York against the Jets. Andrew Luck with a couple of touchdown passes already. It looks like Todd Bowles' team has completely quit on him. And at the moment, it's 14-0 Indianapolis, and it could be on the way to 100-0 as little defense as the Jets have shown so far in that game. If that score holds up, and so far it's given every indication that it will, we'll have a 3-way tie in the AFC South at the end of tonight. Houston, Tennessee, Indianapolis, all tied at 6-6 with 4 games to go. And they all play each other down the stretch. So it's going to sort itself out. The Titans are in the worst position in the sense that they're 0-3 against those two teams from early on in the year. A couple weeks ago in Indianapolis, another tough one for them. So the Titans are going to have to win, I would say, at least 3 of the 4 down the stretch to have a shot to win this division. And obviously, they've got to beat Houston in the final week of the year. Need to beat Jacksonville as well in Jacksonville. Keep that division record up as much as it possibly can. But they're going to have to beat the Texans in the final week of the season. Indianapolis and Houston play coming up, I believe, this weekend. So someone is going to not officially be knocked out of the race, but certainly drop back a peg if they lose that game. The Titans' task, if you ask me and you look at it, you've got Denver coming to town on Sunday, then a trip to Kansas City before those final 2 division games. I think if you're the Titans, you've got to split these next 2 games. You have to. If you can win them both, fantastic. But you have to at least split. And if you do that and go to Jacksonville and win 8-7 going into the final week, you're still going to need a little bit of help. Neither Indianapolis or Houston can you afford for them to go 3-0 in that stretch. But, you know, if Houston loses in Indianapolis, which totally possible, Indianapolis drops another game in there, couple more games. I think there's a real likelihood that week 17 that the Titans could host the Texans for the AFC South title. And wouldn't that be fun to have a Week 17 game mean everything? (737-7767) is the number. We want to hear from you tonight. No game to talk about from this weekend, but plenty to talk about moving forward. Titans players even saying today, especially the guys who've been around for a while, said, look, this is cool. This is fun to be a part of a team that's going to play meaningful football games, a team that's going to be in a playoff race here in the month of December. This is exciting for us. I think it's exciting for the fan base. I think you're going to see a pumped up, energetic crowd at Nissan Stadium on Sunday. These games matter for the first time in a long time. Jonathan Hutton joined us on the Electric Power Company Sunday Sports Central last night. We will hear from him. We'll go over some things of how we got to this point in a 6-6 season. We will look at some of the big moves last week. Remember, we were talking about the pink slip that Parrish Cox got. He was released from the team. Now it's going to be a defensive backfield by committee, so to speak. They've been doing it at the safety position. Now they're going to do it at the cornerback position as well. There are question marks moving forward. They've got to overcome them. There's no question about that. But they're in a position to do it. In a position to do it for the first time in a long time. And when you look at the division, although Indianapolis playing well tonight and beat the Titans a couple of weeks ago, they haven't played great football at any point in time this year. When you look at Houston, they seem to be trending in the wrong direction the last couple of weeks. The Titans seem to be getting better and better as the year moves along. No better time to be at your best than in the month of December when you're in a playoff race. That's what the Titans are hoping that they're prepared for now. What do you think the Titans have to do down the stretch of the regular season? What's good enough for them to win this division and get into the playoffs? What has to happen on the team for them to be at their best and have that record? Your biggest question mark or concern about the Titans moving into the month of December? Or why you think they're ready to do this after 8 years. 2008 was the last time that the Titans were in the playoffs. 737-7767 is the number. Let's start things off tonight on Titans Talk with David. David, hello. You're first up.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for the call.
Okay. I just want to know, do they know the magnitude of this game? Are they going to come out and just be high-powered, high-strong on this? Are they going to come out flat like they did against Indianapolis? I mean, do they really know how much this city needs for this win, for them the rest of the year? Do they know these games and what do they mean?
There's no question. Hang on with me for a second there, David. There's no question they do. From talking to them today, they completely understand the situation they're in and how big this game is and how big each of these games are, especially if they keep on winning. I think the question that you bring up about Indianapolis is a good one, but if you want to feel good about something, the slow starts for the Titans this year, and there have been a handful of them that have been frustrating, they've been on the road. It was at Indianapolis. It was at San Diego. It was at Houston. Those were the really, really slow starts for the Titans this year. The good thing is they've seemed to create a new mojo where they feel like Nissan Stadium once again is a home field advantage. So I think they have that going for them this weekend. Broncos don't really know who their quarterback might be. Trevor Siemian missed this weekend with a foot injury. Will he be healthy enough to go, or will it be Paxton Lynch making his second career NFL start? I think there's something there for the momentum for the Titans to come out and have a fast start. But if they don't, it's not going to be because they're not aware of the situation or the magnitude of the game or how big this is for their season or for the city. They are well aware that they're in uncharted waters, at least recently, for this team.
Okay, I just want to say one more thing, Dale. I think that they got rid of the wrong person. Parrish Cox, I think he was kind of injured, but he won the game for us against Detroit. It's McCourty. McCourty is, I think he done lost his step. He's holding. He's not looking back. And really just the secondary in general is messed up.
Yeah, no question. David, we appreciate the call. Look, if the Titans are going to win down the stretch of the season, the secondary has to play better than it played in Chicago. And talking to several guys today, they understand that. But Bryce McCain said something interesting to me. I asked him, in a copycat league, do you worry that teams are going to look at what the Bears did in the fourth quarter of that game and just go right after you guys, test you downfield because of what they saw on film? And he said, look, man, guys have been testing us since week 2 of the season. This has been kind of what teams have gone at against our defense all year, is they feel like they can throw against us in the secondary. At times we've made plays. At times we haven't. We didn't in Chicago, and it got ugly. They understand that the microscope's going to be on them, and they have to step up and make some plays. They just have to at this point. And they got to get some help from the pass rush. The pass rush has been really good all year long, but they were unable to get home in Chicago. And it's going to be a long day in that secondary if they can't generate a pass rush. If they can get after the quarterback and make him get rid of the ball quicker than he wants to, Jason McCourty and Bryce McCain and Valentino Blake and those guys have a fighter's chance. If they can't get the pass rush, then those guys are out on an island essentially by themselves, and that could spell trouble for the Titans here in December. Jason McCourty was beat up in Chicago, but look, he's grading out better than anybody else in that secondary. That's just the bottom line right now. Is he at the peak of his career? Probably not, but right now, he's the best you have in that secondary. Parrish Cox had given up the most yards allowed of any cornerback in the NFL and had also missed the most tackles of any cornerback in the NFL. That's a really bad combination. And the thing that was really concerning, I think, to the coaching staff is they were starting to wonder if the effort was completely there from Cox or if he was not quite giving it 100%, maybe not confident enough to make the same reads or jumps that he once did, and therefore that was hurting him. That's why they made the decision that they did last week. All right, let's go back to the phone, sneak one more in here before break, and go to Daryl. Daryl, good evening. You're next up here on Titans Talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you for accepting my phone call. And I want to ask you a question. And this is a question that probably is going to be hard for you to answer because this is a question that's going to go 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule if we do get in the playoffs. So I know you said that we should win at least 3 out of the 4 games. And I agree with that because I said that last week to my friends. But if we do get in the playoffs, if we do, who do you think that we will? I know you can't answer this, but who do you think that we might play in the first game of the playoffs?
Well, obviously a lot can change in 4 weeks, but if the Titans are to get into the playoffs, they're going to get in as the AFC South champion. In all likelihood, that will give them, it's certainly going to give them a first-round home game. At this point, nobody in the AFC South is going to be good enough to have the bye as the 1 or 2 seed. So you're either going to be the 3 or the 4 seed with a first-round home game as the division champ. So you're going to face one of the wild card teams. And as you look at the wild card equation right now, I would say that you're probably looking at a Kansas City or maybe a Denver out of the AFC West, who, by the way, the Titans play those teams in the next 2 games. So maybe a little bit of a preview there. You maybe get one of those teams, possibly Miami out of the AFC East, who the Titans handled earlier in the season, but that seemed to wake up the Dolphins because they won 6 in a row before losing yesterday in Baltimore. And then the other possibility would be a team that doesn't win the AFC North. Baltimore currently at 7-5. Is in first place there. The Steelers are also 7-5, but lost that first matchup. They play down the stretch. Potentially the team that doesn't win the division, if they have a good enough record, they could fall in that mix as well. But, you know, those are really the options. I guess there's 4 teams, 5 if you include the other team that will eventually win the division in the AFC North. Those are pretty much the 5 teams that would be the options to fill 2 wild card spots, of which the Titans would host one of them. So those are the types of teams they would be looking at in that game.
Okay, so you're saying that we're going to have to win our division. We don't have no wild card chance. We're not in the hunt.
There's really, I mean, in the hunt, sure, I guess. But at this point, the teams that are in the wild card have a couple game advantage on the Titans in terms of the record. And so now you're talking about having to probably win out and have a bunch of help in that scenario. The easiest thing is going to be to win the division. And frankly, if you win out, you're going to win the division in all likelihood. I'd say it's a 99% chance. So that's the easiest path for the Titans to get to the playoffs, no question.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate all the conversation. Thank God. I love the Titans. God bless them.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you very much for the call. We got to take a break, running a little bit behind, but we will get back more of your phone calls right after this. 737-7767 are the numbers. Call us up. Lines are open. We want to hear from you tonight on Titans Talk. Getting set for a playoff push in the months of December. You're watching News Channel 5 Plus.